Hello everybody and Happy New Year. I hope you're okay today. What we're going to do today is I'm going to show you how I took a 3D scan with my iPhone 12 Pro Max and how I optimized it in Nomad Sculpt. Why Nomad Sculpt? It's because I want to find a way of being more productive while I'm rendering in Maya. So some of you might say that it's going to be quicker optimizing it in Maya or Blender. Yes, especially I haven't tested it with Maya 2024, so I'm hoping to be able to do a really old camera. Let me show you this one. It's a really old camera that I have, that's the case, that I have from my granddad, and I really want to create a 3D model of it. Yesterday I did try to take a scan of it, but I think it was the light. When we're taking 3D scans with phone or any other device like iPad, we need lots of light. So I'm going to test to take another scan today of the camera, but what I managed to do is one of my shoes. Okay, so let me record this screen as well. Why Nomad as well? Because I love ZBrush. ZBrush is amazing, but it's a desktop application. I wanted something for the iPad, so while I'm rendering, I'll be more productive actually sculpting and creating. And I like the feel that I can actually use my hands as well. For the last few days, I was working on the iPad in Nomad, and you know, it's so amazing to actually be able to sculpt and use your fingers around rather than using a keyboard. That's why I like it. And I wanted something so I can take with me anywhere, and this way I would be more productive. Let's say I'm traveling somewhere long distance, or we're going on a trip in a car, and I can literally sculpt on the iPad in the car, right? So it's gonna make me more productive, I think, or I can just sit on the sofa, you know? So that's why Nomad. I'm giving you my reasons why I'm using Nomad, right? So first things, 3D scanning, it works, at least with the iPhones I know which ones work. It's 12 Pro onwards, the Pros. They've got the LiDAR scanner, LiDAR scanner. So that's why it's possible to take 3D scan. The first time when I tried it, a long time ago when I bought my phone, it didn't work as well. Recently, I wanted to try it again because I think specifically for shoes and more complicated objects, if we actually manage to get the main details of the model so we can topologize on top and extract some texture of it, that's amazing. I don't know about you, but for me, the hardest part when I start modeling, the hardest part is getting the main shape right. And I think using the 3D scanning will really improve my workflow. I will let you know later on, you know, I will keep testing it when I can and when I have time. But I've recorded the whole project from 3D scanning to optimizing it in Nomad. I haven't used Maya. That was on purpose because I'm rendering my latest animation on it and I just want to be more productive. I've nearly planned all my projects for next year, but I need Maya for all three of them because I've started the birdie one and I've sculpted most of it, but I need Maya now to kind of get the model ready for animation, and then I can continue creating the sculpt for it, if it makes sense what I'm saying. I will record the process of everything, so you will see. The 3D scanning thing is really good. Well, two things you need to remember. If you can have, let me show you, let me get it. There it is. It's really good. It's really good to have a selfie stick while you're taking the 3D scan. I learned that the hard way because I think that the best place for me to scan objects, because of the light and the position and the way that I can rotate around the object, is in the hallway on the floor. And my back was, the first few tries, it was really difficult. The first few tries, it was really difficult. And my back started hurting. And then I thought, why not use my selfie stick? You know, it's gonna really help me go around it and fill in all these gaps. Let me show you what, let me get to the videos. So, I will show you, this is the application that I'm using. I've got it installed on my Apple phone and on the iPad and on my Mac Studio as well, because there is an option when you 3D scan with the phone or iPad. There is a possibility of you generating a lower resolution model on the device that you scanned it with, so you can actually see how you took the whole shape of it, and then you can transfer it to a MacBook where you can generate a really higher resolution model. What I found out with this when I was testing with the shoe, what I found out is that is there a way I can actually show you the scans? Let me see whether I have it. I think I have it here when I was importing. So the lower resolution one is, let me see this. Generating, I've got generating on the MacBook, and I've got in Procreate here, I've got a video where it's showing you the lower resolution which I generated on the phone. So you can see this is the scan model I've taken from with the iPhone, and you can see there is on the insides there you can't actually distinguish the little parts of it. So it looks okay. I mean, it looks okay because the texture is good. That's the low resolution one, and it's got pretty good texture, I would say. But let me find the import. Let me see whether this one will show us the difference. You see, here I've generated a high resolution on the MacBook. I've generated a high resolution of the shoe. I had to take a separate scan for the bottom, for the sole of the shoe, because you can't move it to take the bottom of the shoe. And I really wanted that sole as well, and I wanted to see what Nomad will let me do, so I can combine this and work on it, how I can topologize, how I can apply textures, how I can keep the textures, and it was actually really tricky, and it took me whole afternoon to do it. But I think the end result is pretty good. Let me see whether I can show you the end result. Oops. Let's see whether it's here. Then I've transferred it to test it in Maya to render it with Arnold. I wanted to test it quickly. So I've recorded this process as well for those of you with for those of you who want to see a quick setup of lighting and IPR rendering. So yeah. Here are the renders in Arnold. I'm obviously recording that screen, so you're gonna see it closer. It's it turned out really well, actually. I mean, this is a decimated model, and I've updated it. I've uploaded it to Sketchfab as well, because I've put that model on my store, so people can actually see the detail of the shoe. It turned out pretty well. When you have a look. Ooh, there's some noise there. Whoops. Is there noise? Or It's just the picture because it's on Dropbox. I don't think there was no noise when I rendered it. Never mind. That's the least of my worries. So it turned out pretty well. That's rendered in Arnold with quick lights set up. I just tried to do the different parts. So if I want to animate this, I would definitely need to work in Maya to optimize the geometry to be good for animation as well. Haven't done that yet. I don't know how it's going to work. I really want to test Maya 2024 with the new tools and everything. So you can see, let me show you the inside, the difference after I optimized it. This shows you a little bit good how I optimized it inside. If you remember the scan, I'll show you the scan again in a minute. There, see? I kind of masked and extracted different bits so it can have more kind of a shape and more detail. And I try to keep the textures, which looks pretty good. I mean, like if you go even closer, it's not going to be as good texture and as detail, but I mean, it depends on what you need it for. I just wanted to test how I'm going to be able to optimize models and how I can do this just with my iPhone and with the iPad, not to be dependent on my MacBook and Maya. That would make me more productive because I'm still rendering. I still have 1 week to go from the brush animation. And when I need to render long scenes, I'm just like so impatient. I really want to get going and just to keep moving and creating things. And this gives me a way of being more productive. We've got the iPad, right? I've got my phone, right? Why not? Why not try to use whatever I have so I can be more productive, right? Okay, so let me show you again the scan. Have a look at that picture, and this one. Okay, there is noise, definitely noise there, I didn't notice that before. And let's have a look. Actually, let me open a project here. I think I still have it. Let me open an older project. Yeah, here, I think in this one. I want to, I've got the scans here as well. Yes, there you go. Okay, let's close everything. Okay, which one is that? Okay, so this is the low resolution scan. You can see how it's like the 3D model. There's the wire, and that's low resolution. That's the low resolution I took as a whole of the shoe. Look, it's pretty good texture it got for the low resolution one. I mean, apart from not being able to get the sole of the shoe in one go, and the inside part, you see, this inside part where it doesn't look like a shoe, obviously, and the laces, you know, you can see that it's like kind of a texture snapped on a low resolution model, and it's actually pretty amazing. It gives you such a good base. If I need to animate that shoe, I was thinking, okay, how am I gonna approach this? That's why I did in Nomad all the optimizing in Nomad to see how I can work with textures there as well. It's good to have different options and be able to work in different software and different applications. I mean, it's gonna make me, definitely it's gonna make my life much easier. Getting basic shapes for shoes, I don't know about you, but when modeling shoes, and especially if it needs to be a lookalike shoe, like nearly the same one, oh, no way. I was just having such a hard time creating this. Now this process and this way of doing things will really increase my modeling speed, as I can say. Okay, so that's the low resolution. There is the high resolution for the sole. I did high resolution. Here, the texture, it's a little bit mangled. Let me find it. Import new file, yes. Files. Where is the texture? This one was the bottom, wasn't it? High resolution top, high resolution bottom there. That's the texture for the... Come on. What? Oh no, sorry. wrong. It's the high resolution hole. Oopsies. Yeah, let's go back. High resolution. High resolution. Do choose high resolution top there. It's this one. So this is the high resolution that I've generated on the MacBook, on my Mac Studio. But you can see it's cutting the sole. So what I did, I used the high resolution just for the textures, I think. Did I? Yes, no, I used most of it I used the high resolution, but for the sole, as you can see here, how it's kind of destroying that part of the sole, I used the low resolution model for it. And then for the bottom one, I had a separate one, which is there. Now the texture is, because I haven't baked it. It's okay, let me just quickly show you. So that's the bottom. This one wasn't. It's very tricky. Maybe it would have been better if I don't know, put it on something so it's not like on one side, but it was pretty good. Look, all the pretty good scan it did on the bottom part. So what I did is I carved the parts that I wanted from the scan models that I had, and then I used voxel remeshing. And basically, when you bake it, I've recorded everything, so I know it might start getting really confusing. I was very confused in the beginning. I was really confused in the beginning because I was learning Nomad as well. I'm still learning Nomad. I mean, I can't learn everything in few days, right? But most of the stuff are similar, like in ZBrush, so it was easy for me, you know, to try and figure out things. So yeah, this is the high resolution. I've generated this on the Mac Studio, high resolution model from the scan that I did. It's pretty good. I mean, it's spot on. It's absolutely spot on. And it turned out really, really well. So this is the resolution of the high resolution. It's still not too bad, I mean. And I cut out the floor. I don't know why the high resolution involves the floor and the low resolution doesn't involve the floor, but I'm not gonna, you know, try to figure out why. I don't care. I just carve the floor, remove it, and that's easy to do with masking, like in ZBrush, same in Nomad. What I wanted to show you is let's open the latest model. So that's the high poly that I generated. I'm missing a part here. Inside shoe, top carve, dark blue. So you can see how I've separated the parts. Let me show you. Let's hide all of them. Yeah, I've grouped those because I was moving the whole shoe. So what I did is I've carved this part, yeah, and then I've baked the texture. First baked the texture and then I carved it, and when you carve it, it actually keeps the texture, and you can bake it, and then it produces the whole new texture with the new UVs. It's pretty clever. I mean, like, it's really nice. It's really nice. I can do a lot of things in Nomad now as well, and I'm not dependent on my PC, my laptop, you know, I'm not dependent on it. So that's very good. Let me show you the rest of the parts, how I carved them. Okay, label card as well. You know, all these parts which will give me a little bit more structure of the model, that's what I've carved. And it looks pretty good, doesn't it? I mean, shall we make a comparison? Where is the low resolution? High resolution, low resolution, there it is. Shall we move the low resolution? I'm just not gonna. Oh, seriously? Are you kidding me? I think it's because I didn't bake the texture. Okay, let's put it back. Okay, that's the low resolution, isn't it? There. Okay, so let's scale it up a bit so we have it equal. So like I said, I don't know why it was different. Then let's lift it up, because on the low I don't have the sorrow. So what was I gonna say? Sorry, was my so it's pretty spot on. I mean, this is, I didn't even try to compare it. Obviously, if I needed to go in much more detail to make it look like exactly like this one, I would have noticed. That's the first time I'm actually comparing them, so doesn't really matter. It's my project. I just wanted to test things. I think it's pretty good, you know, and yeah, it worked really well. Worked really well. I'm very happy with the result. I added some detail to it myself, and obviously it's not exactly the same, but pretty close for the time that. And here maybe I should have done a better job at exporting this, because this is much more detailed than this. So I should have been paying attention more to this as well. I think when I was manipulating geometry, because it's my first time in Nomad, I wasn't that much aware, you know, how it works, how the tool works, and how you can preserve the textures and so on, right? I think it's pretty spot on. If I wanted to be better looking one, yes, I would have spent more time on it, but I really don't think it's necessary for me to be spending more time on this. So yeah, hope you like that project, and I hope it will really help you speed up your workflow as well. If you have any questions, please do let me know. I will try to add audio. I'll try to add audio on the first few videos where I'm doing the scans, because that's the tricky one, especially the top part. When you're doing the top part of the scan, it was very tricky for me. So I will try to comment on those videos. I don't promise I'll comment on the next of the videos for which are more straightforward. If I feel that something is not as straightforward in the video that I've recorded as it should be, I will try to add audio to it as well. So I hope you enjoyed this project. I will see you soon with the birdie. Hopefully in a week time I can start with the birdie one. Will I Am. That's really funny animation that I really want to do. It's good. Have a nice day, and I will see you soon. Thank you.